धन्यवाद धन्यवाद प्रभु
हरि बोल।
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद आनंदित दीदी भागवती दीदी दीदी प्रियदर्शनी दीदी. Where's Lakshmi?
Lakshmi.
Okay. Ananda Krishna Prabhu, Hari Bol, Dhanyavad.
Dandavad Maharaj, Dandavad devotees, everyone.
Dandavad Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Where are you staying now? Ananda Krishna, where are you staying?
Maharaj,
Where? Yes. Where
Maharaj, is the state São Paulo, my city,
Brazil.
field of Jordan.
Huh?
Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Brazil.
Sao Paulo, the capital.
Oh, okay.
My city, field of Jordan.
The city is called Field of Jordan.
The field of Jordan?
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
The big mountain.
I see. Okay. And who is there? What are the devotees there? Are you by yourself?
Yes, Maharaj.
You're by yourself? I see.
I 21 practice conscious news Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Mhm. Are you going to go to India?
No, Maharaj.
You're not going.
Next year.
Next year? Good.
Yes.
Go to see Shanta Maharaj.
Yes.
Very, very nice.
Gaura Purnima, the big festival.
Yes, yes.
But now I don't have money.
Okay. That's a problem. Krishna will help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morning for and family, working. My position is green hasta.
Okay. All right. Let us begin. No?
Maharaj, wonderful explanation for yesterday appearance day Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Thakur.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, very nice. That's Sridhar Maharaj's Taitya Deva, Taitya Dasa Dasakam. Sridhar Maharaj wrote that poem for his Gurudev. Dhanyavad Sumadevi, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj.
Yes.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Dandavat.
Dandavad.
Vandanaha, the prayers. Vandeham.
Vandeham Sri Guru
Kamalam.
Kamalam
Sri
Sri
Guru.
Guru Vaishnavam Sutta Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Mahagana Raghunatham Samtam Sadvaitam Sadhutam
Radha
Krishna Onanjan Divigandasya
Jananjana Salakaya Suranitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Puja Sir Guru Varna Pandita Mahava Panditaya Prabhupada Parampara Pracharita Jaya Pramurtate Ate Nirmala Niraja Nirtam Bhante Sri Gurudevang Shiracharya Varjam Nija
Shri Guru Devam Ananta Shira
Acharya Varam Nijam
Purva Vista Supuraka Guru Gajaya
Sishta
Shishanto
Sambhoshitam
Chintya Cheta
Chinta
Samasta
Samasaveda
Vedami
Nipunam
Nipunan
Sri
Sirupa
Rupa Pantanagam
Vidya
Govinda
Vidya
Mujjalam
Mujalam
Varam Tanum
Param Padu Bhakya
Jnanvita
Vitam Sundar
Sundaram
Vande Vishwa
Vande
Guru
Vishwa
Shariya
Gurum Chadivya
Bhagava Prema
Bhagavate
Divya
Premamaya Vijapadam
Divam
Bhagavam
Divyam
Divya Tanum
Shushandavadanam
Sukandavanam
Balarkachela
Balarakachelan
Shridhara
Chittam
Satrananda
Sandaranandapuram
Sadeka
Sadhika
Varanam
Varanam
Vairagya
Vairagya
Vija
Vidya
Bodhi
Buddhim
Sri
Sri
Siddhantani
Siddhanta
Giri
Nidam
Subhakti
Sarati
Lasitam
Lasitam
Saraswatadam
Bhakti-namoram Munde
Panditam
Sitam
Subhadam
Saradam
Bhadika
Vadika
Charanam
Charanam Niyaya Sridharam
Shri
Sri
Siddhanta
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 Saraswati
Saraswati
Dito
Ti Vidito
Gaudiya
Gauriya
Gaurambaye
Urambaye Bhakto
Bhato
Banyuriva
Panarviya
Prabhupada
Prabhuta
Saganejo
Saganoyo
Gaura
Gaura
Sankirtani
Sankirtanaya
Maya
Mayavadya
Bada
Namaskara
Kimingiro Patanguria
Pratinitara
Jiva
Tre
Nima
Jivanam
Krishna
Krishna
Prema
Prema
Prabhavita
Prabhude Gagana
Sukam Praga
Sakum
Prabhu
Bhagavate
Tambaye
Prabhum Tambaje
Om
Namo
Om Mahabalaja Jaya
Bhakti
Mahabalaja Gaurangiri Padabrikaya Prabhavani Sevine Bhante Bhakti Vinodan Sri Gaura Shakti Swarupaka Bhakti Satraya Radharasa Sudami Gaura Braja Jeshashai Vaisnava Bandija Vigra Yegana Bhavante Premadim Dirda Vaisvara Karuyacha Kripa Sindhujaya Vacha Patitana
Vanshatattvam
Panchatattvam
Krishna
Bhakta
Bhakta
Namami
Namo Maha
Namo Mahabhalanjaya
Krishna Prema
Krishna Prabhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Nami Gaura Twise Nama Jayanta Suratam Pango Namader Moti Masarva Bhaya Bhaya Boyao Dita Brindaya Kalpa Dumala Sriman Ramnadan Sita Sastao Srila Jansya Devasita Devao Pretali Sara Sambi Sivanatata Istira Sampenusa Gopi Gopina Yetu Jaya Jai Jai Keshavaya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavatai Namo Namo Matra Guru Guru Vyasa Jaga Guru Tato Yaya Viraye
Jaya Sapari
Jaya Sarvari Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Mama Yashu
Sri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Sri
Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Srivasadi
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Bhakti Yoga Maharaj ki jai.
Jai
Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai.
Jai
Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai,
Jai glorious the assembled devotees.
Jai,
All glories to the worldwide devotees.
Jai.
Lord,
Jai.
pray with
Hare Hare.
Hare
Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki jai.
Jai
Hare Krishna. Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaja ki jai.
Jai.
Jai
Text 17. And the which chapter is this? Chapter 7. Full self-surrender. Atmanivedanam. Text 21. Anugraha nigraha bedena sevyanuraga eva atmanikshepa.
Reading 21.
Huh? What happened? Oh, we're on a different one?
And 17.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Huh?
Which? On 21.
I don't remember now. That one?
Maybe I was incorrect.
Parachayamahi dandam dinabando dayam veva katir iha nabhavata kachiranya mamasti nipatatu satta kotir nirbaram va navamas tadapi kila ayoda stuyate chatkena Rupa Goswami, Rupa Parada. Genuine self-dedication is deep attachment for one's master, considering reward and punishment equally. So genuine self-dedication, Self-dedication means service, devotional service. Genuine self-dedication, we're talking about Atmanivedanam, full self-surrender. So what is the meaning of that genuine self-dedication? Here he says, attachment for one's master, for one's spiritual master. Considering the reward and punishment equally. Spiritual master has to sometimes chastise the disciple. And the disciple is very happy to receive that chance because he wants to be corrected. He wants to focus his consciousness, his attention, and develop himself properly in the proper direction. So Guru is there for that purpose. And he sometimes praises the disciple and sometimes chastises the disciple or for the purpose of bringing him to the proper conception, bringing him or her to the proper conception of Krishna God. So, O friend of the needy, whether you chastise me or reward me in the whole wide world, I have no other shelter but you. Whether the thunderbolt strikes or torrents of fresh water shower down, the Chataka bird who drinks only the falling rainwater perpetually goes on singing the glories of the rain cloud. Mahaprabhu in the Shikshastakam also tells something like this. Ashli Shiva Paranatam Punashtumam Adarshanam Katam Karotuva. You may crush me by your embrace, or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me, but you are always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Like this. Devotee is this way toward his Gurudev and to his Supreme Master, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, or Krishna, Radha and Krishna. He takes them as his well-wisher in all circumstances. This is the meaning of self-dedication or devotional service. Next text. Raja Rasalam Patasya Swire Acharya what is this?
Acharya.
Achareshu.
No, it goes into the next word.
Achareshu. Atma Nikshepa Shaiva Paramot Karasha. Asli Shiva, this is the verse I was just mentioning. Asli Shiva Paranatam Punashtumam Adarshanam Mamahakam Tarotuva. Tataya Vidanti Lapato Mat Prana Natas Tusa Eva Napata. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's last verse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastakam. The acme of self-dedication is surrendered to the whim of Sri Krishna, the paramour of Vrindavan. Krishna may warmly embrace the maidservant of his lotus feet, claiming me as his own, or he may break my heart by not appearing before me. He is wayward. He may exploit me as he wishes, but he will always be my only Lord, the only Lord of my life. What to do? Krishna is like that. He is the supreme enjoyer, and we are the enjoyed. We may try to put ourselves as the enjoyer in this world, but that is a false position. That is a false ego. That we are the enjoyer of this world, that this world is meant for me. No, we are just pieces of Krishna's pastimes, parts of Krishna's pastimes. We don't know what he wants. No one cannot understand the will of the Lord. He wants so many things. And sometimes they may be beneficial to us. Sometimes they may not seem to be beneficial to us. Ultimately, because we're a part and parcel of Krishna and not the whole of Krishna. All we hear is parts and parcels. When Krishna is happy and enjoys, we will also get the benefit. Just like when the hand feeds the mouth, or when the water is on the root of the tree, the entire organism gets benefit. And not that that by feeding only one part of the body, or taking care of only one leaf on a tree, or one branch, that the whole will be benefited. But by pouring the root water on the root, the proper process for watering the tree. By feeding the mouth and the stomach, is a proper process for nourishing the body, and then the entire organism, the whole and all the parts become satisfied. That is the science of Krishna consciousness.
Maharaja, your volume is long.
Your volume is low.
Oh, the volume is low? Can you hear now? No. Is it okay now?
Long and low.
No, too. Is your volume raised up? Is your volume on your computer at the highest?
No, in my computer is normal volume.
Normal?
Harinanda, how is the volume for you?
I hear fine. Good volume.
Okay. Yeah, my voice is a little low, so I don't have too much, can't speak too loudly. Dhanyavad Pragyatiti.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Tanvat Pranam. I can hear clearly, Maharaj.
You can hear? Okay. Do you know how to adjust the volume on your computer? On the Krishna Prabhu?
No, is my computer is volume normal
Oh,
in max volume.
okay,
But no problem, Maharaj.
okay. Mahodarya Lila Maya. This is text 23 in the Prapanna-jivanamrtam, chapter 7. Mahodarya Lila Maya Sri Chaitanya Charanat Atma Nikshepasya Paramatvam. These little snippets at the beginning of each verse is the commentary that Sridhara is giving on the verses that follow. I think it's called the Lagu Chandramata.
No, that's what he called Charanagati.
Huh?
That was his commentary
On
on.
Sharanagati.
Yeah.
Anyhow, this is like a commentary on the Prapanna-jivanamrtam. Patra vicharanam na kurute na swam param vikshate. Deya vimarkshako nahina va kala patiksha papu. Sadhyo yok shravanen hakad shravanek krana parmana dhyanadina durabhavam. Gate bhakti rasam sa eva bhagavan gora paramne gate. Prapodanandam Saraswat. The dignity of casting oneself onto the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the hero in the divine pastimes of supreme magnanimity. I think one lecture by Sridhara is called "The Dignity of the Divine Servitor." People do not want to become slaves. They do not think that's a very high position. That's a lowly position to be a slave or a servant. But to become a slave or a servant of the highest, of God, Krishna, of God, that is a dignified thing, the most dignified position. Otherwise, in a kingdom, those who serve the king are considered in a very exalted way, the ambassadors and so forth. Whereas the normal citizens who are under the control of the king's servants, they are considered more normal beings. So there's some dignity associated with serving the highest thing, and not a lowly thing to be a servant.
Even the butler.
Huh?
The butler of a wealthy person.
Who?
The butler
A butler.
of a wealthy person. They're very.
So he makes no distinction between the worthy and unworthy. He does not differentiate between himself and others. He does not consider who should be given to and who should not. And he makes no preparation for an auspicious or inauspicious moment. And he swiftly awards the rarest nectar of pure devotion to devotion, beginning with hearing about the Lord, beholding him, making obeisance to him, and absorbing one's thoughts in him. That Supreme Lord, Gaura Hari, is my one and only shelter. So the sun shine is the source of light for everyone, whether they be a pious person or a sinful person or whatever type of person. The sun equally gives its sunshine, its energy to everyone, to the human beings, to the insects, whatever there may be. So Krishna is like that. He's not averse to anyone, because all are his parts and parcels. How can he be averse to himself like that? So everything happens for the supreme autocrat, the supreme good or autocrat. All is occurring for that, to serve that goodness. Although from our perspective, sometimes it may seem good, and sometimes it may seem bad, because we put ourselves at the center of things. I remember one time a devotee, you may know him, his name was Rishabhadev, very nice devotee from California. He was living at the mutt at the time he was going to leave this world. And he used to tell the devotees, it's not about you. Life is not about you. Our life is not about you or about us. It's about Krishna. It's about his pastimes, his pleasure. The devotee fixed in that consciousness, he can accept everything. Everything is the Lord's mercy, and he's always happy. Nityananda. No need to be upset about so many things. When devotees were talking about World War III with Sridhar Maharaj, you know what he said? And they're also worried what they're going to get annihilated by the atomic bomb. Can you hear? And he said, World War III, let it be. Let it be. He said it's like a point on a line. You know, on a line, how many points there are? An infinite number of points. It's like a points on a line. And a line is not the whole thing. A line is on a plane. And how many lines are on a plane? Another infinite number of lines. And a plane is only one in a solid. There are infinite planes in the solid. Okay. So this World War III is like that point on a line. Not very significant in the overall vision of things. So that's the vision of eternity. That's the vision of infinity that devotee has in understanding Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. We have nothing there for to fear. Face the unlimited. What do we do? What can we do? A speck of dust. This Earth planet is only a speck of dust in the entire universe. Then what good is our brain, our intelligence, our reasoning? How much can we figure out what will happen next and what to do next? And not a matter of that, of brain, of intelligence. It's a matter of faith. And that region, and that spacious region, that spacious reality of the infinite, only one thing will guide us, and that is our faith and love in the Supreme Lord. That He is the absolute good. And we are at His grace, at His mercy. And because we are His parts and parcels, He will take care of us as He sees fit. Our only necessity is to surrender and serve that great infinite goodness. And not be so wrapped up in our worldly concerns and worries and suspicions and so forth. Worldly deeds. Absorbing one's thoughts in Him. Hearing about Him, beholding Him, making obeisance to Him, and absorbing one's thoughts in Him. Krishna gives the formula in the Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhava mad bhaktya. He doesn't say Mamana bhava mad jnanam. He doesn't say come to me with knowledge. Bhakti. And I am to be known by bhakti, by love, by service, devotion. Only way. There's nothing to know because we can only know very little. But we can surrender unlimitedly. We can give ourselves unlimitedly. That is the key. No self-interest. Interest of the Supreme Lord. And that will give us entrance into that world, that consciousness. This is what we are striving for.
Right. Hari means thief, right?
Huh?
Hari, the name Hari
Hari
means thief.
is the thief. Yes.
So Gora Hari means golden thief.
Huh.
I know.
It takes everything. He wants it all. And we want to give it all. We want to give it all. And the final ending of the chapter. Eti Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam Sri Bhakti-Yoga Tantargata Atma-Nikshepo Nama Suktamo Dhyaha. Thus ends the 7th chapter, full self-surrender. Words of nectar from the devotees in the Life-Nectar of the surrendered souls. Positive and progressive immortality.
Chandradipika.
Huh?
The name of the commentaries on Sharanagati
Yes,
is called Chandradipika, moonlight.
Chandradipika. That's Sharanagati.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're saying it's like similar here.
A similar name here, yes, I don't remember.
Chandradipika.
Positive and progressive immortality. What is that? To give up our engagement with the temporary things of this world. That's mortality. Mortality means to engage with the finite things of this world, finite objectives, finite looking for results for activities in this world. How do we progress to the higher, to the world of immortality? By giving up all that finite seeking and to throw ourselves, submit ourselves to the infinite flow and let him guide our activities. And the more we can do that, the more we will enter into our eternal nature, the eternal pastimes of the Lord. So now we're going to deal in chapter 8 with the words of nectar from the devotees on Karpanyam. Karpanyam means surrender in humility. These are the branches, the limbs of the 6 limbs of surrender. Prapanna, the 6 limbs of surrender. One is Atma Nikshepana, full self-surrender, and the other is surrender in humility. Doing everything favorable for the Lord and avoiding unfavorable things in the service of the Lord. And all these things, accepting the Lord as guardian, all these ways, the 6 ways, 6 limbs of surrender are being presented very scientifically in this book. And from 3 perspectives. One from the perspective of the devotees, the words of the devotees. Another from the perspective of the scripture, the Shastra, the words of the scriptures. And the third by the words of the Supreme Lord himself about these topics. So there are 6 limbs, and each one has 3 associated interpretations or instructions. What happened? Anandaji,
He's trying to rejoin.
is he back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Bhagavan,
Maharaj, the other three limbs in chapter
Huh?
6 limbs existence. The other 3 limbs and chapter 8.
He's asking what are the other 3 limbs we named: accepting favorable, rejecting unfavorable, accepting the Lord's guardianship.
yes,
One is accepting the protection of the Lord, right?
being very humble and accepting, surrendering oneself entirely. What is it?
5.
Huh?
Rejecting the unfavorable.
Accepting the Lord as one's guardian.
Accepting the guardian.
Okay. All right. So chapter 8.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Does Prabhu have a link to the book?
Huh?
Does Prabhu have a link to the book?
Does he what?
Ananda Krishna Prabhu, do you have a link to the book online? He has physical.
Okay.
In Portuguese.
Good, good, very good. All right, chapter 8. Surrender and humility. Text 1. Bhagwan Raksha Rakshaivam Arita Avena Sarvata Asamordvadaya Sri Siddhor Adahe Karunya Vaibhavam Smartam Savisheshena Nijati Saucha Nichatam Bhaktanam Vritti Bhavastu Karpanyam Katyate Budai. O Lord, please protect me, protect me. Such an internal sense of heartbreak in the devotees, which causes their remembrance and love in all circumstances of the extension of grace of the unequaled and unexcelled ocean of compassion, Sri Hari, and which characteristically causes them to ever remember their feelings of most lamentable destitution, is known by the learned as Karpanyam, surrender and humility. My favorite example is that if you can imagine yourself drowning in the ocean and there's no one around anywhere, you have no hope of escaping. You're going to be eaten by the water or by some creature in the water, or you'll get hypothermia or something, drown, whatever. That's the only prospect you have. And only one other prospect is there. If somebody comes by, somehow or other, by some unimaginable fortune in that great ocean, someone comes by in a boat or a ship and they rescue you. Otherwise, what else? What other hope do you have? So like that, devotee feels himself in that kind of situation, hopeless situation. Only by the grace of the Lord, of his devotees, only if Krishna sends his devotees to help him. And then he can have some chance to escape such a horrible situation. And we should not just think that Krishna can do that on his own. He can, but that's not how he operates. One time I told the story of this lady. She was in Texas during that that hurricane, Katrina, whatever it was called, I don't remember. Anyhow, all the whole city, the whole village had become flooded, and people were sitting on top of the roofs to avoid being inundated, by the drowning in the flood waters. And this one woman was sitting on the roof and she was praying, "Oh my Lord, please save me. I have no other choice. That if you don't send your grace to me, then I will die. I will perish." All right. So one helicopter came and said, "Come on, lady, we're going to save you." And she said, "No, no, no. Krishna is going to say, God is going to save me." Like that. So foolishness. Krishna sends his devotees to save us. That's how he operates. He's not independent of his devotees, and his devotees are independent of him. They are his instruments, and they do not work without his consent, without his will. Just like a hammer is an instrument, but the hammer doesn't put the nail in the wood. The carpenter is necessary. So we are like that. Krishna exhibits his will through his devotees, through his instrument. Only foolish persons cannot understand that. They want to go directly to God. No. That is direct. Krishna's servants are direct connection by his will. Even the blade of grass will not move without the will of the Lord. What to speak of his devotee, not a rascal, but a devotee, one who is surrendered to the will of God. He can serve as the instrument of the Supreme Lord. So we must take shelter of the devotee if we want to have the will, if we want to serve the will of Krishna. This is humility. Not that we think, "Oh yes, I am a servant of Krishna." No, I am the servant of the servant of the servant. If I could just get that much, I consider myself fortunate. Who am I to be the servant of the Lord? Direct, like the gopis or Srimati Radharani. They're a very high position. Devotee doesn't want that. Even Mahaprabhu was praying. Gopi Bhartak Pada Kamayo, Dasu Dasananda. Even Mahaprabhu himself was praying, I want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of whom? Of the gopis. The cowherd girls. The simple cowherd girls. Very young, innocent. That kind of purity of heart. That is humility. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, to identify, how do you identify a devotee? And he said one word, He said dainyam. Dainyam. Humility. A devotee is one who is very humble. You can't be an arrogant fool and consider yourself or be considered a devotee. You must not understand that either, because Gurudev has something called pratishtha, Guru pratishtha. Pratishta means false ego. But there is a certain attitude Guru has to take toward his disciples, which is like Pratishta, but it's not Pratishta, it's not false pride. He has to take a very strong position sometimes with respect to the improper behavior of his disciples and order them how to behave properly, chastise them very severely. So Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was like that also with certain persons, Mayavadis and Sahajas and so forth. He used to call him the Shringa Guru because he would so powerfully try to defeat them. Huh? Like a lion, he'd become like a lion when talking about them. So that's different. Under the inspiration of the Supreme Lord, one may have to act in that capacity, but it's always in the mood of surrender to the will of the Lord for the purpose of serving the will of the Lord, serving the satisfaction of the Lord. Bhaumya in the spiritual world. Bhaumya means a little bit contrary to Krishna's will. Radharani often exhibits this quality. She's a little contrary to Krishna. Krishna says, do this, and Radharani will say, no. And this entices Krishna even more. So these things are there also in a positive sense and a negative sense. There are no formulas to apply to this situation, but generally speaking, this Dainya or humility is a necessary quality of a devotee. Sri Krishna Nam Rupasya Param Pavanatvam Jivasya Durdaivansha Nam Nama Kari Bahudani Sarvashantis Tarpitam Niyamitak Smarane Nakala Tadashi Tavakipa Bhagavam Mamapi Durdaiva Vidrisham Ihajanina Nuraga. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's from the Shikshastakam again. It says, the holy name of the Lord is a supreme purifier, yet the soul's misfortune is to deny it. O Lord, your holy name alone bestows all good fortune of the soul. This is why you have revealed your many different names, such as Krishna and Govinda. You have offered all your transcendental potency in your holy name without initiating any scriptural or philosophical hard and fast rules and regulations concerning time, place, or circumstance to be organized, to be observed and chanting. Dear Lord, in this way you have given your mercy to the living entity by making your name so easily available, and yet my misfortune in the form of offenses, namaparad, does not allow love for that merciful nature to be born within my heart. Hare Krishna. Lord is always available to everyone. Mahaprabhu only asked, chant the name in this Kali Yuga. If you could just say the name of Krishna, you don't have to touch your nose and stand on your head like a yogi. You just have to say Hare Krishna, and he is there immediately. You can be in touch with Krishna consciousness. Why, when we say Hare Krishna, do we not immediately go back to home? Why are we're not cleansed from this material life? Because we still have attachments here. That's what's stopping us. We don't think that's the highest thing. And that by achieving Krishna consciousness, everything else comes. We think we have to get everything else first, and then in the end we will get Krishna consciousness. Mahaprabhu was saying just the reverse. Get Krishna first, and then everything else will come. $100 will serve all your $20 or $50 and $10 or $5 problems. The highest thing will serve all the other lower things. So don't go for the $10 or $20. Go for the $100. Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad. Jai
Dhanyavad Maharaj.
Shri Guru Maharaj, Shri Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Santa Maharaj, Ki Jai.
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 My devotees, please be well, be safe, be happy in your service. My Dhanyavad pranams to you, my love to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Krishna devotee.
Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
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 Oh.